What's going on, everybody? Big Dog Brett, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share, send it to your mom and them. What's going on, everybody? Woo! A lot to talk about tonight. So we've got, let's see, Alabama and what's the team? Oh, man, I can't remember. Oh, yeah, Shoeless Joe Jackson has committed to Florida, just so you know. What's going on, guys? It is going to be a very interesting situation. We're going to see what's going to happen with that as it pans out. Georgia is not going to be playing in the SEC championship. It's going to be Florida. And regardless of what anybody wants to say, Florida fan, talking to you, the college football playoff committee may have you ranked above Georgia, but I believe the coaches poll and the AP poll have Georgia ranked above you guys. So, yeah. I will say that Florida player has a better arm than Stetson Bennett, though. I will give him that. I will definitely give him. I will concede that the Florida receiver Marco Wilson, or defensive player Marco Wilson, can throw better than Stetson Bennett. So there's that. What's going on, everybody? So glad you guys are here. Let's run through the list, see who we've got in here tonight. Iceberg Plays, how you doing, sir? Devin Russian, how you doing? Between the Trenches, glad to have you, sir. Elite GB, welcome as usual. Mr. Brad Pitt, one of our resident members, Mr. Michael Porter, thank you so much for showing up. Elite GB, I may have said your name already. I see a lot of names. Dwayne RTR, one of my favorite Alabama fans. There's only a few. And let's see, Mr. Michael Porter, one of our another illustrious members. And I'm sure I've missed somebody. I know there's more people in the channel than just those that are talking, but thank you guys so much for going in. People may say for the rest of my life about 2nd and 26, but I can always say 3rd down and shoe. Oh, man. Florida fan never going to be able to live that down. What's going on, Michael? All right, guys. So for those of you who don't know, you're just joining the channel, just joining the stream, there is some information just come out just a little bit ago about there have been either one or multiple, not much of a choice, right? But I've heard at least one player on the Ohio State offense who has tested positive for the Rona. And because of that, it looks like they may end up having to cancel the Big Ten championship game. It has already been said that if that game was canceled, that they would not reschedule it. And if that is the case, then most likely they're out of the college football playoff. So that opens up a whole new basket, doesn't it? It could be interesting. So do me a favor, you guys that are in here now, go ahead and hit the, if you're watching on your mobile, hit the minimize chat button. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button and then switch back. We'd much appreciate it. Also, thank you too for everything you guys are doing. All right, so Michael Hogue, or Hogg, I'm not sure how you say your name, sir. How am I doing today? I got some post nasal issues going on. It's making me cough and sneeze. But that's because I don't take my medicine like I'm supposed to. Smash that like button. I like it, sir. Sergeant AR, another one of my favorite members here again, sir. Thank you so much for joining the show. Michael Hogue, got you, sir. Thank you. Names are one of those things that's really difficult to get them right all the time. I try, but I don't always seem to get them right. Mucinex, brother, man, I'm supposed to take Zyrtec every day along with other stuff, but JT is going pro. Where did you hear that nonsense from? Where did you hear that, sir? I mean, I got to check that out immediately. I don't see that anywhere. Where did you see that? I highly doubt he'll go pro, sir. I highly doubt he'll go pro this year. It looks like one of the players for Mr. Hogue, one of the players for Ohio State has tested positive for the Rona, so they're going to have to do a lot of contact tracing. It was one of their star players. It's one of two people, we're pretty sure. We don't know which ones yet, so it's highly likely that you're going to have multiple players that are going to test positive. If that happens, they will have to cancel the game. If they cancel the game, they are not going to make that game up. As such, that would prevent Ohio State from getting in the college football playoff. So, yeah. Bama signed 1 5-star and 3 4-star receivers. That's incredible, sir. That's incredible. He's coming back to UGA next year. You've got to look at JT Daniels' book of business as far as, is he going to be able to go pro? He's got to have enough stuff on paper for to get the amount of money he should get out of an NFL team. One of those games, he basically just handed the ball off all games. So he's really only got like 3 games on his resume. So that's not enough to go pro. That you're not going to find them paying top dollar for his talent until he is kind of showing them everything he can do. Bennett coming back next year to become the full-time starter. On what? Water boy? I don't think so. He ain't playing quarterback. Get up out of him with that. So I'll see you. Goodbye. Ooh. I will have most likely a very big yet small surprise for you guys tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. If you're watching this after hours, make sure that you guys respond to the post. Leave a comment when I make posts so I know how many people it's seeing. It's kind of difficult to tell how many people it reaches. So I need you guys to respond with comments so I can tell. Sarah Fuller has entered the transfer portal. Actually, sir, she wrote a letter that says that she is now no longer doing college football. So her time as a football player is over. I believe that's what it said. I'll have to double check. So let's see if I can find it real quick. Sarah Fuller letter leaving football. I believe that's what it was. 7 days ago, 2 days ago. Here's what it said. Here's what she wrote. Fuller said on Monday in a statement posted to her Twitter account, it looks like my time as a football player has come to an end. I would like to thank personally the entire Vanderbilt football team, coaches, and staff for this amazing opportunity to be part of the program. I was accepted as an athlete and true member of this team. This is an experience that I will never forget and cherish forever. Good luck to the seniors and staff who are moving on to new adventures. Best wishes to the team as this program moves forward and continues to grow. Yeah. So whatever that means. Jackson Meeks, 6'3" wide receiver, and Donia Mitchell, 6'3". Sarah Fuller only scored versus Tennessee. That is correct. Tennessee is the only school in Division I Power Football, Power 5, that has had a girl score a point on it. That's the facts. I ain't saying it's good or bad or any other kind of special way, but yeah, it is what it is. How are you doing? Man. So obviously tonight we're going to talk about the Florida-Georgia game. The Alabama-Florida game. We're going to talk about the recruiting rankings, kind of where things sit, kind of how Georgia panned out, and some other teams, how they panned out as well. And kind of get your guys' thoughts on that all the way around, see how things worked out. So, all right, guys, you know the drill. If you guys have any questions, throw them down in the comment section. We'll get to them, get them answered, see what you guys have. For some reason, I'm getting weird pop-ups on my computer. That's got to go away immediately. Oh, it's because I'm trying to read stuff about Sarah Fuller. That page has pop-ups on it, apparently. Yeah. All right, so let's look at the 2021 recruiting rankings. Dun, 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 dun. 27 sports. You guys want to do 24/7 sports, or do you want to do rivals? Which one do you want to do? It doesn't matter to me. I'm good with either. SC is officially dead. That is correct. Roll Tide, brother. Y'all have to get a quarterback. Is Mac Jones going pro? Does anybody know? Am I streaming the SEC game? The SEC championship game, I don't know. Maybe. I might not. Got a lot of things that's going to be happening here in the next day or two, so we'll see what happens. We'll kind of go from there. So, yeah. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to start down. We're going to start way down at 50th on the list. Thank you, Mr. James Lynn. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share, take a moment, hit the thumbs up, and become a member if you want to support the channel. It's the members that really help this channel continue to grow. Those guys are constantly part of the content creation here, part of the community, and part of the conversation. We also have those guys usually get first views of anything that I do new with the channel, whether it's an intro, whether it's an outro, music, setup, anything like that. That's going to be part of it. So we'll see how it goes. All right, we're going to start down. I'm going to use 24/7 Sports, and we're going to go drop down to number 50. You know what? I think I'm going to do this as a DJ. I'm going to use my DJ voice. See what you guys think. Brett, besides on here, how can I go about getting in touch with you? As there are a few things I want to talk to you about similar to what you're doing right now, and not trying to step on your toes. Mr. Hogue, if you would like to reach out to me, if you'll look down at the bottom of the screen right now, I appreciate that, Trenches. And you'll see it says bigdogbrett18@gmail.com. Feel free to email me there. I will reach back out to you, and we can have a conversation. What is my thoughts on Fan Mullen talking smack to Bama? Look, an overgrown 5-year-old wearing a Darth Vader suit talking smack about Alabama should not be of any concern, sir. I feel like you would be used to that because you guys are used to having smack talk to you from Tennessee fans. So I'm just putting that out there. Oh, Brett, we have a defensive back in the 2021 class named Devontae Smith. Devonta Smith? I'm confused, sir. I'm confused. So you have a Devontae and a Devonta? Interesting. That's pretty cool. I'll have to check that out. All right, so we're going to go through the I'm going to go through probably the top 25 or so here real quick, knock these things out. And then once we get into the top the top 25, we'll kind of change gears a little bit. Between the Trenches says, go Dogs, best show in community on YouTube. Thank you, sir. That is worth throwing up on the board. Supporting the channel anytime anybody donates to the channel, it is very humbling. Thank you so much. Let's jump down here to the list. He said fact check. I hate the term fact checker. It's who's fact checking the fact checking fact checkers. And if I keep eating at Checkers, I'm going to be fat. And then I'll be a fat Checkers. Big Dog Brett, I have to let you know that Marco Wilson is getting ready to throw you your brand new pair of Nikes, but he needs you to figure out what shoe size before he passes them to you. Well, I don't think they would be new. I would bet they would probably be stolen. Okay, so all right, here we go. DJ mode. Here we go. Coming in at number Coming in at number 50, SMU, 17 commits and 0 5-stars. Followed up by Vanderbilt, 49. Memphis at number 48. Arizona State coming in at a top 47. Georgia Tech 46, UCLA 45, and the Cincinnati Bearcats wrapping up the 44th spot. Virginia Tech looking at number 43, Baylor 42. Rutgers coming in at 41, and my personal favorite on this entire list, Auburn at 40. Thank you, sir, for holding down the 40 spot. Boston College coming in at a brazen 39. University of Kentucky, bright 38. West Virginia 37. Mississippi State, our next third, fourth, or fifth SEC team. I can't do Wolfman Jack. Ohio State University at a number 35. Coming down the field to you at Louisville, number 34. Michigan State, 33. North Carolina State, 32. Another personal favorite, Florida State at a 31. Washington, tighten up at a 30. Utah, 29. Virginia, 28. Minnesota somehow sneaks in at 27. And believe it or not, we have Missouri at the 26th position. And that rounds out the first 26 through 50. So as you can see here, guys, we've got quite a bit of teams here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SEC teams in the top 20 or the bottom half of the 50. So we'll see how it goes. What's going on, Alex Dingy? Hey guys, Georgia fan due to one of my friends used to play for the Georgia or for the Bulldogs baseball team in the early 2000s. We used to watch a guy by the name of, I think his name was Josh Fields. He was a pitcher for the University of Georgia whenever they went to the the College World Series. I took my son. Golly, I think he was like, golly, how old was he? He had to be like 4 or 5 or something like that. A long time ago. All right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and throw out the invite. If you want to join the channel, feel free. Give you guys an opportunity to jump in because I'm going to go through the next top 25 here. We're going to go from 25 to 10, and then we'll do the top 10 all the way down to we'll do the number 10 through probably the number 5 spot, and then we'll round out the rest 1, 2, 3, and 4. Coming up next on WJIZ, top 25 recruiting class 2021. We'll be back right after these commercials. Dun, 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 dun. Oh man, Mike Mancuso got hurt senior year and drafted by the White Sox. That's pretty cool, man. I would like to think that playing pro baseball has got to be way different than playing pro baseball just because of the schedule, but also because of the environment. At Big Dog Brett, good point. I have to ask rally/checkers or the varsity, which one would you recommend? I would have to say I would recommend checkers for sure because they have that incredible brown sugar and cinnamon apple turnover that I will fight you and your mama for. I'm just saying, don't bring that out at Thanksgiving because it'd have to go down. I'm just saying. Between the trenches, you mean Casey Kasem? Yep. Nobody wants to join in. All right, that's fine. Hey, I'll go. I'll pull from the 25 spot on up to the 20 real quick. All right, California wrapping up at 25, Nebraska at 24. I don't know how in the world Nebraska's at 24, but I do want to point out that they only got 3 4-stars and 16 3-stars. Balling. All right. You talking about fast food place or the big UGA YouTuber? I didn't know there was a UGA YouTuber other than me and Lou. Well, Chess Hall, but are you talking about Chess Hall? Let's see. Pitt coming at 23. Iowa somehow sneaks in at the number 22 spot. They always seem to do okay with recruitings, but the one I was really impressed with was Arkansas. I thought Arkansas would be a little lower on the list. They managed to sneak up to the 20 spot. And then we've got Maryland hanging around 19. The ye old Terrapins. How in the world did they get in the top 20? Ole Miss. All right. I see you, Ole Miss. 18. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Texas. They got a 5-star. They're back. Just kidding. They're not back. Wisconsin at number 16 with with 1 5-star and 5 4-stars, 15 3-stars. Alex Dingy says, just subscribe to the channel. Saw your reaction to the Florida game. I mean, of all of the stupid penalties, Koshi game throwing his shoes, seriously. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, he's big, figuratively. Yeah, just big dude, man. Just a big dude. He's got a heart of gold, though. He's not he's a young guy. He's got a lot ahead of him. He's got a lot going on, so we'll see how it turns out for him. Hopefully it turns out well. I know recently he was trying to get to 500 subscribers. I think he just got there. So congrats to him. Tennessee at 15. How about that, Tennessee? Nobody expected to see Tennessee at 15. Yeah, that boy can't eat. There is no lie that boy can eat. I watched him do that challenge with the fortune cookies. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I can't. His blood sugar had to be 3,000. It was insane. North Carolina at 14. USC, the real one. Talking to you, South Carolina, the real USC, coming in at number 13 with 20 commits. No 5 stars though, which is really weird considering California has a ton of stars. USC picks up 12 4 stars and 8 3 stars. Michigan picks up 1 and he's at 610. Good for him, man. Good for him. Michigan's got 1 5 star, 10 4 stars, 9 3 stars, and a 1 star coach. Texas A&M, their recruiting this year is probably going to improve greatly. They had a really good year this year, so next year I would almost bet that they're going to step it up quite a bit. But being in the top 10, they're knocking on the door of being a top 10 recruiting team. Barely edged out, just barely edged out by less than a point, really, of being in the top 10 with Miami. Miami's at 263.33. Texas A&M is at 262.96. So they were roughly 0.4 of a point away from being in a number 10 spot. So that's really, really close. Then you got Notre Dame at the number 9 spot, 0 5 stars, 11 4 stars, and 14 3 stars. They signed 25 people. So that was a big recruiting class for them. How? Michigan, who wants that? I have no idea, sir. I have no idea. Let's see. Florida, once again, number 8, 25 commits. They had 25 commits. I want you to understand something. There was nobody in the top 10, there was nobody from the 8 position up. As a matter of fact, let me scroll down here. It's not until you get to the 39th spot with Boston College that you see 25 commits again. Notre Dame, what's up, JC? Notre Dame has 25 commits. Florida has 25 commits. And Boston College have 25 commits. Those are the only 3 teams in the top 39, especially top 40, 41, 42, in the top 42 schools that have 25 commits. Everybody else is less. And most everybody else is 2, 3, or 4 lower. Alabama's only 1 lower, but you'll see what I'm getting at here in a second. Florida signs 25 commits, and they still were under Oklahoma. Oklahoma coming number 7 with only 16 commits. Oklahoma got a higher ranking in recruiting than Florida did, with only a 2/3 of the players. Florida signed 10. Florida signed 10 4-star, 10 3 stars, and that's more than any team above them, 1 through 8. They scored that. You could take any 2 teams. You have to take any 2 teams to add up to what Florida had. You can't add 2 teams in the top 10 together and have, not top 10, top 8 together and have more 3 stars than Florida. So Florida officially now 3-star shoe you. There you go. All right, Oklahoma coming in at number 7 with 16 commits. They had 1 5-star, 12 4 stars. Now keep in mind, watch this. Oklahoma, 1 5-star. Florida, 1 5-star. Oklahoma, 10 4 stars. Florida, 14 4 stars. Oklahoma, 3 3 stars. Florida, 10 3 stars. And Oklahoma still had a better recruiting class with only 16 players. Pretty commendable to Oklahoma to be in the top 10 with only 16 players signed. That's incredible. Oregon has 21 commits, 0 5-stars, 16 4-stars, and 5 3-stars, and they're still ahead of Florida. And now we start getting into where the big boys play. Just to be in this arena, you have to – this is the top 5. This is the top 5 best recruiting schools. Most of these schools this is, they were in this place or this position last year or close to it. So here we go. Clemson is sitting at number 5 with 18 recruits. Now, obviously, they could sign on a few more, but pretty much everybody is signed. We might get a flip or two, but now it's getting pretty prevalent for players to go ahead and sign during the early signing day. So what you're seeing right now is pretty much the majority of what you're going to get. You may see a flip there, a flip here, but hey, for the most part, it's pretty much a done deal. 18 commits, 2 5-stars, 14 4-stars, and only 2 3-stars. What does this tell you? This tells you that the Georgias, Alabamas, Clemson's, Ohio States, they're not signing 10 3-stars. They're signing 4-stars and 5-stars. Might want to take notes there, Florida. Just not trying to bust you out or anything, but you may want, yeah. So, and we're going to talk about the average recruiting ranking. Florida's average recruiting ranking across all of these commits is a 90.18. Clemson's a 93.73. LSU is a 92.81. And now LSU has 2 5-stars, 15 4-stars, and 5 3-stars. Somehow, I don't know how in the world they're going to keep all these players, convince them to go to the school. But as of right now, LSU has the number 4 spot. Hey, what's going on, Sarah? Welcome to the channel. Glad to see you here. When you've got players like Eric Gilbert that may end up coming to Georgia, this is an interesting turn. You may see these 2 5-stars move to one of these other schools, and you may see some of these 4-stars. There's 15 4-stars, which is the most in the top 5, get divvied out. They only signed 5 3-stars, and they have a 92.81 overall recruiting ranking. This is a really, really good recruiting class for LSU. What's going on, Sean? This is a really, really good recruiting class for them. So if they don't do something with this pretty quick, you can if they have another year next year like they had this year, you can absolutely expect that they will not have this kind of recruiting class next year. Okay, now we get to talk about one of my personal favorites. You may the University of Georgia. They only had 20 scholarships. That's all they had. 20 scholarships to give. They've got 4 5-stars, 11 4-stars, 5 3-stars, and an average ranking of 93.52. That's pretty good. I'm good with that. The margin between these schools here is razor thin. If Georgia picks up another 5-star or they pick up a couple of more 4-stars, you can easily flip between the Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3. But it's really, really close. Ohio State, no surprise, they had a big recruiting class. Justin Fields, anybody that could have an opportunity to play with Justin Fields, it would be difficult to say, I don't want to play with Justin Fields. The guy's incredible talent, so you can understand why people would want to play for Ohio State. 5 5-stars, absolutely incredible signing class. 13 4-stars. Thank you, Sarah. And 3 3-stars with an average ranking of 94.56. And they are edged out by Alabama, who signed 24 players. Some of the most in the top 10. Notre Dame signed 25, Florida signed 25, and Alabama signed 24. 6 5-stars, 14 4-stars, 4 3-stars with an average ranking, and I believe the highest average ranking in the whole set with a 94.60. Big shocker there, right, Joe Dog? So looks like Alabama's going to be loaded once again with talent. There's going to be a ton of guys there. more 5 stars to replace the 5 stars they lose. This is just the top 5 teams, for lack of a better term, keep just absorbing all of the talent, and that creates a gap between these teams and the rest of the teams year over year over year over year. So if you want to know why the Alabamas, why the Clemsons, why the Georgias, the Ohio States, why they tend to have a big gap between them and the other teams, it's because of this. It is because of the recruiting process. I got behind on the chat here. Somebody asked a question. Michael Hogue said, at Big Dog Brett, I have to ask, what was your reaction when Georgia tried to introduce himself to Bevo in the Sugar Bowl a couple of years ago? I think anytime that you put 2 wild animals together, you never know what you're going to get. I think it was a little bit nonsensical to have any kind of dog around any kind of cattle. That having been said, they're lucky nobody got hurt. They really are. Tennessee Vols having a good recruiting class. They are? Oh, number 15. You're right. Yeah, that's a really good recruiting class. Absolutely. Always good another day. Woo. Oh, my goodness. All right, so I have not had an opportunity to pull up some of the stuff I want to pull up, so I'm going to pull it up now. Let's see. Okay. Sporting news. Let's see. Sportingbettingdime.com. This was updated. Looks like December 16th. The over-under is Alabama. Excuse me. The point spread is Alabama by 17.5 with an over-under of 73.5. Waking up on the top side of dirt is a good day. Yeah, makes sense. So a lot of times when I look at these betting lines, people ask, how do I figure out what the score is, or how do I figure out what they want the score to be? I just subtract whatever the number is, like 17. I subtract 17.5 from 73.5, and that would be 58. So then you take Big Dog Brett, the later it gets, the uglier you get there. I'm out. Well, sir, if you thought I was pretty, I'd be even more concerned. Glad to hear you say that. So if you take the 58 and you divide it by 2, that gives you 29. So you add the 29 and the 17.5 back together. So 29 plus 17.5, might as well say 18 because you can't get a half point in football. 29 plus 18 gives you 47. So they are predicting, or they think the score is going to be somewhere around 47-29. Crimson Tide. At least that's what I'm going to say. I think that is it means I'm not dead. I know what it means, sir. Looking at the grass instead of the roots. I know what you mean. What's going on, DS1? When you've got 2 teams like this going at it, I'm honestly surprised that it's not bigger. The Alabama's a beast. We played Alabama healthy, and we got worked. You guys played Georgia. We had 10 players out, and I had 10 injuries from 10 players out from injuries, and playing a backup quarterback. And you guys beat Georgia, and you're beating your chest over there. And I'm like, y'all can go ahead and do that if you want to, but Alabama's a real deal, man. This is the best offense I think Alabama has had in I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years. And I don't think you guys have an answer for it. I really don't. I think Alabama's going to roll out there and they're going to start rolling on. I think what's going to happen is in the first quarter, it's going to kind of be, they're going to kind of fill them out. Alabama has an okay offense. They play a lot of terrible teams, sir. And the good teams they played were beat up when they played them. Now, the one good team they played, they lost to, and that was Texas A&M. And then they lost to a bad Florida. By that measuring stick, Georgia has a better record because Florida's a better team than LSU, and Alabama's a better team than Florida. So, I mean, however you want to look at it. Where do I think Jermaine Johnson going to go? Golly, I knew somebody was going to ask that. I was reading about him earlier today. Everybody wants Jermaine Johnson. So he transferring again, but I think he'll probably end up at a school like Tennessee or Ole Miss or a team that's not really on the cusp of being able to be competitive, but they're just kind of in that area, you know. They're an 8-5 team. I like the guy, but he can't get it done. So entered the transfer portal, says he's opting out, and he'll be in there in the portal today. That's what he said 2 days ago. Nobody's picked him up, so I don't know what they're going to do. He's the Dogs. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. He may come back. He may not. Who knows? Florida lets the shoe get the best of them. You know, I can't help but wonder. If the Florida player, Marco, would have just taken off this shoe and just spiked it right in the dirt, would they have penalized him? Was it because it was a 20-yard toss? I don't know. But I like to ask. Did they? And what's worse, man, Dan Mullen go get up there and defend this guy? There was somebody in the comment section of that video I made talking about, oh, well, Florida beat Georgia. Well, yeah, everybody can see Florida beat Georgia. What's your point? Florida's like, the guy's like, yeah, I'd rather lose by a shoe than lose by 20. And I said, I guess that's just the difference between me and you. I would rather lose to a better team by 20 points than beat myself because of lack of discipline. And that's why you're a Florida fan and I'm a Georgia fan. And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but that's the way it is. They don't call it felony university for nothing. What was that? What was that guy's name? I'm finna look it up right now. Now that's got me going. All right, Florida. And watch this. This is what I'm going to type in because I don't know the guy's name. Florida player frying pan. You can't make this up. Here it is. Just go to Google, type in Florida player frying pan. This happened 2 years ago. Pulling it up right now. Florida Gator incident involves, among other things, a frying pan wielded as a weapon. There's some domestic violence people right here. Frying pans, shoes. Oh, my goodness. And they even got you on video. It was an unusual conversation. Someone brought a damn frying pan. Never forget your cookware. The police report describes a frying pan that was found at the scene. And then you left it behind. Said by witnesses to have been used by one of the players during the confrontation. When Tay Bang is looking for his money, you catch him slipping. First they knocked, then Mattingly kicked in the door. Then they grabbed a steak knife, a butter knife, and Mattingly picked up a frying pan off the stove. Ooh, man. Somebody could tell me why Tay Bang betting on the Gators last season. Good night, man. Listen, you can go to Google right now, and you can type in, let me see, I'm going to type it in, Florida player felony. 9 Florida players face potential third-degree felony charges amid an alleged fraud ring. UF freshman football player arrested on felony charges. They threw everything but the kitchen sink. Listen, we don't call him felony university for nothing. You're lucky all they took was his shoes, man. Some of y'all in here too young to know who Pootie Tang is. But I guarantee you Pootie Tang was a Florida player. Guarantee you. He could whip anybody's behind with that belt. If you don't know who Pootie Tang is, open up another tab, go to YouTube and type in Pootie Tang. Pootie space Tang. Pootie Tang. Sippy on the sippy. Ooh, man, it's one of the greatest comedy skits of all times, man. I'm telling you. Watch Florida play barefoot. So now not to make that mistake again. And well, it wasn't even Florida shoes. It was the LSU players' shoes, man. Terrible. All right. You guys want to jump in here? We can talk about anything you want to talk about. Recruiting classes, upcoming games, bowl game predictions. Excuse me. Where is Georgia going to end up in a bowl game? Florida going to end up I wonder what bowl game Florida's going to end up in. So that'd be 3 losses. Yeah. We'll mess around and lose that Jordan view. Woo, what's going on, Trenches?
What's up, man?
Same shirt, different day. Not getting too much of an echo, are we?
No, I sound good. I can hear you fine.
Perfect. You get a new flag, man?
No, man, I just rearranged the whole garage out.
There you go.
Get a little better.
There you go.
Yeah, Florida gonna mess around and lose that Jordan deal.
What you mean?
Isn't all their uniforms and cleats and everything sponsored by Jordan?
Well, Georgia's sponsored by Nike, but
No, Florida.
Oh, you mean Florida sponsored by Jordan?
Yeah. Keep throwing shoes away. They're about to be sick of it.
No, man, that was the perfect commercial for some Air Jordans, man. Just like, get all that air.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what do you think of the playoff scenario?
Well, if Ohio State can't play, they're out. I mean, that's plain and simple.
Okay.
If that happens, I mean, it's tough, man, because my picks are going to be different than yours on the games this weekend.
That's fine.
I think Clemson's out after this weekend.
Ooh, that's a bold statement, my friend.
It's a bold statement, but
now it's not as bold of a statement as me saying North Carolina was going to win.
I agree with you. I'll give you credit where credit's due. But let's say I'm right. Notre Dame wins. Clemson's out.
All right, so let me
you got it.
So hold on. So right. We're gonna do in no particular order. We're gonna say Notre Dame. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then who?
Bama.
Okay, then who?
I think A&M. Then I'm gonna finally change my mind and agree with you. I think you give it to Coastal or Cincinnati. Those are my 4.
Okay.
All right, what you got?
So let's for one moment, let's play the what if game because it's one of my favorite games to play.
Always.
What if we throw away the complete concept of a team with 2 losses can't get in? Just throw the concept away. Let's not argue about the concept. Let's just throw it away. Because given the situation, it is a possibility that you have to say that one of the best teams in the country could have 2 losses. Fair enough?
Yeah, fair.
Is that fair? Okay. I would say
It's
you
fair.
would, right? And we'll get there.
All right.
I think we would have to say that you would have to count Clemson out if they lost twice, because they've lost twice to the same team, and it's not going to make for good television to see that for a third time. So I think that's out. So I think you would be down to Notre Dame, Alabama. Then I would probably go ahead and agree with you and say Texas A&M, because they've only got one loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then that leaves you with who?
Georgia. My pick was a group of 5.
So that leaves you with Georgia, Florida, Coastal Carolina, and Cincinnati. I would say past precedents would say they're not going to take a non-traditional Power 5 school. So that leaves you with Florida and Georgia. Florida has already beaten Georgia, yes. But Florida's 2 losses don't look as good as Georgia's 2 losses. Because, we don't have 3 losses.
They will after Saturday.
Oh, they will after Saturday, yeah. But, I mean, just humor me here. We're talking about, So Florida has a loss right now to Texas A&M. That's their best loss. Right. Our best loss is to Alabama. Right? So then Florida's next loss is to an unranked 3-4 or 3-5 LSU. Our loss was to a 1-loss Florida. So our second loss is way better than their second loss. So if you were arguing it from that standpoint, then you would have to say Georgia's the better team at that point, even though Florida's beat them. Then turn around and add to the mix that Florida's going to lose to Alabama. That's a 3-loss team. That's completely different than a 2-loss team.
I see what you're saying, but I feel like I'm actually going on your side now. You're changing on me. I feel like you got to give these group of 5 at least one shot. If Ohio State can't get in and Clemson loses again, one of those 2 spots at least got to go to Carolina and Cincinnati at that point.
Oh, absolutely. Hang on one second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm yelling for my son. I didn't want to yell in the mic.
Hey, we all got kids. Let me ask you this. Are you pulling for Clemson or Notre Dame to win? I know you hate Notre Dame, but as a Georgia fan, aren't you pulling for Notre Dame to win this game? Because at worst, let's say Florida goes out and gets ragdolled by Alabama, which I think is going to happen, and Ohio State can't get in. That moves Texas A&M to the playoffs no matter what. Well, at that point, Georgia's not looking at a Peach Bowl. They might be looking at an Orange Bowl, and us just missing out on a $2 million game this weekend goes a long way in my mind. So I would definitely want Notre Dame to win that game, so at least Georgia has a shot at getting the Orange Bowl.
Well, Georgia's going to get a bowl game either way. I'm probably going to get a New Year's Six bowl.
Yeah, but you're going to get more for Orange than Peach.
Yeah, I think at this point, I mean, the amount of money difference there is irrelevant because it's not really going to the players. But my opinion on that is that I think it would be more prestigious to play. Hey, what's going on, Keith? I think it would be more prestigious to play, but I hate Notre Dame, so I can't pull for it, man. It's like pulling for Auburn. I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
Well, let's go back to what if. Let's say that scenario plays out.
Okay.
We know if we play Peach, there's a good chance we're getting Cincinnati. If we go Orange, who do you think we're playing?
Oklahoma, maybe?
You think?
I don't know. It's so weird this year. I don't know who they're going to put in there. I mean, I think a lot of people would like to see a Georgia-Oklahoma again. That was an exciting game. I lost several years off of my life in that game. So,
and it'd be a great game this year because both teams are on the rise. Like Spencer Rattler's doing exactly what JT Daniels is, man. He's getting better every week, and that'd be a great game to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Keith joined the channel. What's going on, sir? C-Dog West, what's going on?
Hey.
One of our resident members here. Brett, got a question for you. Get your thoughts. Holloman enter transfer portal. Do you think Kirby picks him back up, or Kirby let bad past stay out? I'm a hard pass. I'm a hard pass on Holloman. My emotions have not changed since the day I found out that he hit that woman, and it's not going to change. And the only thing I will say to give him credit is at least he was a man enough to admit it. That's all. That's the only credit I can give him. At least he said, "Yep, I'll take my punishment." But as far as I'm concerned, there's some things that there's a lot of things I'll give second chances on. Things that involve women and children ain't on the list.
Agreed.
I'm sorry. That's just who I am.
A lot of people might not like this opinion, but as soon as when the Ray Rice stuff happened, Holloman, I believe, look, if you, especially if you did what Holloman did, you stand up, you said, I did it, great. Go live your life. Do what you need to do, but you're not allowed to play sports anymore. That opportunity should be ripped from you.
I think that thank you, son. I think there's a lot to be said for, he's a young guy. Football players tend to be emotional people, passionate people. They get fired up. They play in a violent game. They're around a lot of violence. I get it, but it's one of those things where I can't readily be available to emotionally forgive you, however you want to look at it. Yeah. I would have to see a profound amount of change in a person on a firsthand basis to believe that person had changed.
I agree.
And if I don't see it, I'm sorry. I can't justify it in my mind. So the girl that you hit or the kid or whatever, I can't. Now I'm also one of the first people that will say, I don't care how much I hate Auburn. I don't care how much I hate Florida. I don't care how much I hate Notre Dame or anybody else. The moment I see a player get injured, I hate that.
You feel terrible. Yeah.
I hate it because there's been so much invested in that player's career, where they're going, the people around them. And in some of these cases, these guys are kind of long shots for pulling their family out of a pretty rough financial state. So if you got a guy who could potentially make millions and life-changing money for both him and his family, get injured, I don't ever like that.
Yeah.
Keith says, so is Kirby going to hang 100 on Vanderbilt next year?
You heard what Kirby said, right, in the press conference?
What'd he say? I didn't hear it.
Some teams shouldn't be in the SEC.
That is a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
I agree.
I don't disagree at all.
Yeah, we were talking about it at work today. You know, if we got rid of Andy though, and they got out, who comes in?
Let's see. Who? So you asking me who would I take in their place?
Yep. Who would come into the SEC East that would make at least a little bit of a difference?
I would take Texas Tech. I would take I would even take, Keith said, FSU. You just want FSU so we can beat the hell out of them every year. Arguably, I would take a UCF. I would even entertain a North Carolina. I would probably entertain a West Virginia or a Virginia Tech. I would take some of those guys. Because any of those guys could do, I would take West Virginia, absolutely. Because any of those guys, they all recruit better. Vanderbilt in the past, 8 or 9 years, has been practically worthless. I mean, it's pretty much a free cupcake for us. The coaches may feel differently. Some coaches may feel differently. But for me, I feel like, Jason S., he even said App State. Absolutely. I'd take App State over Vanderbilt.
Here's one for you. It's going to piss a lot of people off.
What's that?
But let's be real. SEC is the best conference in the league. Period.
My opinion, absolutely.
Yeah. There's one conference out there that always has a powerhouse, but everyone else is kind of wishy-washy. And Vanderbilt might get at least 3 games. They can win in that conference. Let's send Vandy to SEC and let's see how good Clemson is every year.
Yeah. So
not a far drive.
Yeah. So I just want you guys to know that I put Zephyr Roth 211 in timeout for 5 minutes because he suggested Georgia Tech. I want you to know you're the first person I have put in timeout in almost a year.
Oh, wow.
I'm not letting them nerds in our conference. What is wrong with you, sir? You sit over there and think about what you've said. Wash your mouth out, sir. It's unacceptable.
But I tell you what, that's the first time I've seen Kirby actually call out the team.
I'm okay with it.
It was nice. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I mean, it's like the first time you see like your grandpa or somebody tell somebody to shut their damn mouth, and the old man never says anything, and all of a sudden he looks at somebody and he goes, "Shut your damn mouth," and everybody in the room's like, "Oh, what?"
It just got real.
It got real in here, and it got real quick. I'm glad he said it because I think it's absolutely asinine to have Kirby Smart get his players revved up to play Vanderbilt for our senior game, and then they run scared. Oh, well, we'll play Tennessee next week. Well, you ain't gonna beat Tennessee either, so why did you play them?
Because they have a shot.
And then after that, they're like, "Oh no, we're not gonna play Georgia." What are you talking about? How your record can't get any worse? You're literally batting 0. What's the problem?
Sarah Fuller for Heisman, dude. Sarah Fuller for Heisman. I'm calling it now.
No. They'll do something like make her the player of the year, though. You watch.
It's whatever. I mean, it's 2020. Who cares?
They gonna care next year because the players are gonna be PO'd.
Maybe
I'm a little bit upset that they weren't able to find a replacement.
Yeah, you kept hearing Colorado State, and you kept hearing Texas A&M. Which as soon as they said A&M, I was like, "That's not happening. A&M ain't throwing up any chance of getting out of playoffs."
Absolutely not. They're not. They are not going to. Nor is Georgia. Georgia's not going to play a team that's got any chance at beating them.
I don't know. From what Kirby said, you watch Dog Post and everything with Dean Legge, and he was flat out saying, "No, we'll take anyone as long as they're willing to come here and play."
Well, yes, I understand.
I'll take Ohio State at this point.
Well, I understand that's what he said in a press conference, but I'm also going to tell you what I read behind the scenes was that one of the big deciding factors is it had to make 2 things: logistical sense and financial sense. And if it didn't make both, then it didn't go. So that tells me that they had an opportunity to play somebody and they chose not to. So, yeah. Michael Hogue says, what's that?
I was going to say, I wish it would come out so we knew who it was.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. What did he say? Yeah, they denied us our senior day twice as bad juju. Yeah, that's going to cause you some pain points next year. Clark Leah better be ready because the dogs they're going to take some vengeance out on them. Let's see. Don't nobody want to play Georgia now? No. Hey, did you guys see the SEC shorts? Did you guys see the SEC shorts video?
With JT Daniels throwing off the stuff on the balcony.
He's throwing his stuff off the balcony. She's like, "Yeah, we lost this. It's like we beat Georgia this year." And she goes, "I'd like to see you play Georgia now with JT Daniels." That guy didn't say nothing back. He's like, "No, not my 2 side." That was one of the best SEC shorts I've seen in a hot minute.
Not my hot collection, Danny Warfel.
Yeah, I guess you won't be needing to worry about Kyle Trask joining that list. I said, "Oh man," she was hitting him with everything, and then she threw in her bag some money. And that Auburn player comes over there and grabs him, and kind of skulks off. It was too funny, man. That was the best one of those I've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah. Let me ask you this. Actually, I don't know. Did you watch the one with the LSU at the round table for the defending champs? That one was pretty good. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to the Gator Bowl?
I have no idea.
Because it's always an SEC team.
Yeah.
Maybe Kentucky. I don't know. I'm just trying to see if there's a bowl game I actually want to go see here in Jacksonville.
Last year it was Tennessee, Indiana. Tennessee won by 1 point. I have no idea, man. I really don't. Because I got to even look at the standings. I don't even know what the standings are. I've been so wrapped up in some other stuff here. And how about like some delusional Florida fans? It's like we're setting Kyle Trask out to save our best player. Your best player is Kyle Trask. Oh yeah, there was people saying that, man.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there was people saying that. There were.
I don't understand the question. They're sitting Kyle Trask out. What, the Alabama game?
No, not Kyle Trask. Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that worked out. Yeah, that's Florida, man. Like, I live here. I talk to these people all the time. It's ridiculous. Like, half of them are Dan Mullen in disguise.
Oh man, I tell like there's some guys in the comment section that normally, I'll see I'll see here and there in the streams, and one of them's like, yeah, talking about how because I was making fun of Florida, and they're like, yeah, well, we beat you, blah blah blah. I was like, you beat us one time in 4 years. I was like, you bragging about that like you won a national championship? That's just sad, man.
You beat us, still can't win the East or the SEC championship.
Yeah. I was like, and by the way, after your next game, you're going to have more losses than Georgia. So I don't know what to tell you. It's just craziness. Missouri is in third place in our conference with a winning record of 5-4. Auburn, believe it or not, is a winning record with 6-4, and then Ole Miss is 4-4.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at the schedule next year. I guess our two west, of course, is Auburn, but I guess Arkansas is the second.
I'm actually more concerned about that game now than I was at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, man, Pittman's doing good work.
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned about that game. They're still 3-7, but they were much better than what they thought they were going to be. And I will say this: there's only so far been 3 teams in the West that have played 10 games, and that was Arkansas, Auburn, and Alabama. Alabama's undefeated at 10-0. But after that, Texas A&M. Texas A&M's probably is right there where they're probably going to get, in my opinion, they're probably going to get the door slammed in their face on the college football playoff, and it's probably going to be wrong for them to do that. But that's probably what's going to happen, and they're going to be on the outside looking in, and they're going to be furious.
Even if OSU don't play?
Even if what?
If OSU can't play Saturday, you think they're still going to be on the outside?
I think that there is other forces at work that want OSU to be in a college football playoff. That's my personal opinion.
It's just sad, man, because what you're doing is you're showing teams like Texas A&M was, hey, man, you could have just canceled your game, been undefeated at 6-0 and got in.
Or it's showing guys like Coastal Carolina that you can be 10-0 and still not get in.
Right.
Or 10-1.
But think about it this way. Texas A&M could literally has a statement to go out there and be like, look, man, if we would have canceled our Alabama game, we'd have been in.
I lied to you. I'm sorry. Coastal Carolina is not 8-0. They are 11-0. So for the throngs and throngs of Coastal Carolina fans out there, I apologize because you are now 11-0. So yeah, just think about that. And by the way, not only is there only a handful of teams that are undefeated, there are only 2 teams in all of college football that have played like 11 games. I want to say there's only like 2 or 3 that have played 11 games. Yeah, there's not many. Maybe there might be 10. There might be 10.
It's sad, man. I feel like a volunteer.
What do you mean?
I can't wait for next season. Just give us a normal season.
Keith said, "Oh, let me get this over here. My mouse is lost."
You good?
at least this year is demonstrating more than most years that the playoff needs to be expanded. I agree.
Agreed.
But mainly because if we had 8 teams, Georgia would be in. but that's not the only reason. That's not the only reason.
I think the biggest reason is for like we were talking about earlier, man. It's 4 teams like Coastal Carolina and Cincinnati. It either A gives them a shot or B just shuts up that conversation.
Well, I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, you can't have the term Cinderella story unless somebody has done something like that in the past. So there is precedent that in other sports that this has happened.
Yeah, there's no Cinderella story without getting to the bowl.
There's no Cinderella story without a Cinderella. And a Cinderella came from rags to riches. So you have to have that. You have to have the Cinderella at the beginning of the story to have the Cinderella at the end. And right now, I think Coastal Carolina is Cinderella at the doorsteps to the ball. She's right there. She's just got to get in the door. Now, she may not get to Prince, but man, you really ought to give her a shot, man.
Yeah. Well, who you got tomorrow night?
Georgia. Because no matter what happens, one of these teams is losing.
Tomorrow night, not Saturday night.
What's going on tomorrow night? What are you talking about, man?
You got Pac-12 championship tomorrow night, don't you?
What's that?
That's ridiculous.
What are you talking about, Pac-12? Is that
it's better than nothing?
Have any football teams?
Well, sadly enough, Washington's already pulled out of the game. So someone else had to fill in.
Which one are we talking about? Oregon.
I think it's USC and Oregon. Yeah.
I'm gonna take Oregon. I'm gonna take USC.
I was about to agree with you. I got Oregon in that one.
You got Oregon? Come on, man.
USC's barely winning games, man.
What's this barely stuff?
It's the Pac-12, like you said. You want to dominate, it's not hard.
I watch these teams, man, and I watch these teams in the Pac-12, and you know what it looks like? I swear, it's like watching basketball players play football. That's what it's like. There's essentially no contact, and it's just run up and down the field. Oregon has lost 2 of their last 3 games. They canceled 1 game. They almost lost to UCLA. UCLA beat them by 3. They beat UCLA by 3. They did really good against WSU, 43-29. And then the first game of the season they played against Stanford, 35-14. They didn't even score 17 points against Cal. I think that their stuff is going downhill, with the exception of the very first game of the season against ASU. They've scored 33 plus points in every game. In the last game, they scored 43. I don't think Oregon's got anything for them.
I'm still going to pick them. What do I got to lose in this game? I'm going to run with it.
Let's see here. I guess we're going to go ahead and do matchups. Or Keith said Oregon is playing at 3-2. They're barely playing games. All right, so let's run through the slate here real quick. All right, Indiana versus Purdue. That game has been canceled. Ohio State versus Northwestern.
If it gets played, I'm gonna take Ohio State, I guess.
I'm gonna take Rona. That's what I'm gonna pick for that game.
I hope you're right. No, I don't hope you're right. I don't want to see Ohio State win.
And just so we're clear, I'm not making light of anybody that has gotten really sick with this. But statistically, these high school players and college football players are the safest among us. They're in elite shape, and they're cared for daily. They watch them very close. So if somebody's going to get it, If I had to pick somebody out of a crowd, I'm not going to pick a 93-year-old grandmother. I'm going to pick a 21-year-old high school, 21-year-old supreme running back out of an elite college because he's got a much better shot at it. Some of those guys don't even show symptoms, but some of those guys, they get a little sick, but almost everybody recovers from it fully in that age bracket. So, all right, Tennessee versus Texas A&M.
Oh, it was a makeup game. I thought we were talking about championships. You threw me for a huge loop. I'm gonna go A&M.
You going A&M? Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I mean, you did pick Oregon a while ago.
I'm still cool with that pick.
What happens if Tennessee beats Texas A&M? What if we get an LSU? What if we get an LSU scenario?
And Georgia's on the outside looking in. I like it. Hey man, I hope you're right. Most of the time, I'm rooting for the East to beat the West. Unless it hurts us.
Listen, I'm gonna pull for Tennessee, but I ain't expecting much. Yeah. Wake Forest versus Florida State.
Wake? I mean, they're both terrible. Florida State's better. I'm gonna go Wake.
I'm gonna go full Wake Forest. I'm not picking Florida State.
Exactly.
Let's see. Coastal Carolina. Listen, another one of these weird sayings, man. Another one of these weird sayings. You ready? Number 12, Coastal Carolina versus number 19, Louisiana.
That's a really good game, man. Like, I think a lot of people are overlooking this game. I'm gonna stick with Coastal, man.
I'm gonna stick with Coastal for real, man. They have been. These guys want it, man. These guys want it, and I think they got a scare last week. Louisiana has played a lot of games, man, and they lost when they played CCU before. They lost by only 3 points. Now, they hung 70 points on ULM. 70. That's a lot of dad blame points, man. Yep. And they only gave up 20. So, yeah. Now, Louisiana was 24-21. They won their last game against App State. Troy had an opportunity to win that game. I think that probably scared Coastal Carolina, and it made them grit their teeth, kind of wake them up a little bit and say, hey, this isn't going to be given to you. I think Louisiana wants to they want this win really bad because they lost by only 3 points before, but I think Coastal Carolina is just going to be too much for them.
Yeah.
I think it's too much for them. So I'm taking the old Chanticleers. And actually, they normally have a really good baseball team too, just so you know, for those of you who watch baseball.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I think that's the second best game of the week. A lot of people might be pissed about that, but I think that's number 2.
Hang on. I got to put this one up here. I want you to read that for me, Trenches. Just read that for me.
Clemson, Notre Dame should be primetime game, not Bama UF, SEC bias.
Oh, man. I'm taking Coastal Carolina all day, man.
Yeah.
All right. So, Notre Dame, Clemson. Hold on. Let me back up. How about I think there's 4 games right here, all stacked together. There's going to be some really good football that's played. One of these might end up being a washout, but you've got Ole Miss versus LSU. LSU coming off of a big win. Okay, because beating Florida was a big win for them. Ole Miss has just had a nonstop offense. So we saw what LSU could do to a good offense last week. Now I'm sure all of the Ole Miss players are going to have their shoes laced up and double knotted. Everything okay there, Donna, in the chat there? I mean, yeah. I don't know if you're singing Culture Club over there, but come a chameleon. All right, please don't spam, Donna. Please don't spam.
I think she's just trying to get you some more people in the chat. That's what she's doing. She's like, come.
Come on. Well, if they can read that, they're already here. So, or maybe she thinks this is an OnlyFans channel. I'm not sure.
Oh no. Certainly. All right.
Yeah, certainly. So here we go.
We charge by the pound on this channel.
It was expensive, let me tell you. Okay, so this slot of 4 games here. You've got Ole Miss, LSU. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be a good game. I think you got Coastal Carolina, Louisiana. I think that's going to be a good game. The Mississippi State, Missouri game, even though these teams are both equally bad, could end up being a good game because they're both equally bad.
Yeah.
So I think that could be pretty good. And then obviously, once you get your appetite wet for some decent football, then the 4:00 game, which is going to be the game everybody's watching, is the Notre Dame Clemson game. Mm-hmm. This is the biggest game in the country. I understand Georgia. I understand Florida, Alabama. I get it. But, man, the Notre Dame Clemson game clearly are the 2 closest match teams tomorrow, in my opinion. Clemson's going to be out for blood. And you can bet this is going to be a chippy game. These players are going to be out there for real. You're not going to see this like when you normally watch like Georgia play South Carolina, or we'll play Tennessee, and we get late in the 3rd or 4th quarter. You'll see like a Georgia player a lineman help up a Tennessee lineman. You'll see that stuff sometimes. You ain't going to see that in this game. No. You're probably going to see some unsportsmanlike conduct. You're probably going to see some personal fouls. You're going to see some stuff in this game. Oh yeah, targeting. You're going to see that one too. So you can just bet this is not going to be put on your tux and come to dinner. This is going to be put on your gloves and come outside. This is going to be
they're building a rivalry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a slobber knocker. You got Clemson, who is essentially the king of the ACC, who has been in the conference for a long time. They let Notre Dame back into conference, and Notre Dame, if they lose this game to Notre Dame is forever going to have bragging rights to say that's why we don't join the conference, because we can beat their behinds anyway. So to me, I can guarantee you that old crying Dabo is telling them right now, this is our conference. We're not going out like this. I don't care how many personal fouls y'all get. Y'all better go out there and show them who the boss is. I guarantee you that's going to happen. And the later it gets in the game, the tighter the score is, the worse it's going to get. And I hope Clemson just absolutely drags them through the mud, but that's just me. Let's see here. Michigan State versus Maryland might be a pretty good game. Michigan State's a bad team, and so is Maryland, so that might be an okay team to watch. But right about the time the bludgeoning is over between Clemson and Notre Dame, Alabama, Florida comes on. So let's go ahead and have your thoughts on this one here. How do you think this game is going to go, quarter by quarter?
Quarter by quarter? I think you're looking at by halftime at least 28-7. Yeah, I think it's going to be bad. I can't hear you, Brett. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Let's put it this way. I think that sports sanctions had a better shot getting Tyson Roy Jones approved in this game. I think this is going to be ugly quick.
So 28-7 at the half? You
maybe 28-10.
Wow, that's impressive.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I think
Okay,
Bama's running the table all the way
it's
now.
fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah.
What do you think the final score is going to be?
48-24.
I'm going to go a little different route.
All right.
I'm going to say 14-10 first quarter.
Okay.
21-10 halftime.
Okay.
35-13 third quarter. And then 56-20 into the game.
Fair with me.
Because
Either way, it ain't pretty.
I think they get a trash touchdown to begin with. I think they get close enough to get a couple field goals, and I think they get a trash touchdown at the end. And that's just what I think, because there's too much talent.
Did you say trash or trash?
Wait a minute. My assistant is telling me that those are synonyms. So yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Absolutely the same thing.
There'll be a shoe-in for the Orange Bowl.
C-Dog West. Hold on, let me pull up something here real quick. Let me see. How is C-Dog West not a moderator? So Tim Ferriss says 52-24. I think that Gotti, I think that you're going to see quite a bit of power out of Alabama. I think they are absolutely going to turn it up, and I think Dan Mullen is going to have no answer for it.
Let me ask you this: what was the score for the Alabama Texas A&M game?
I don't have that right off the top of my head. Alabama. Let me see here. I'm trying to make C-Dog West a moderator.
I got you. Here, I'll pull it up now.
There you are, sir. You are now a moderator. I thought all of my members were moderators. I must have missed that. How is Sarah? I'll say Sarah's a moderator. I know she is. Zephyros says 50 flags thrown. I can believe it. What is Alabama's greatest win to date? Would be my question. The score gap.
So the score between A&M and Alabama was 52-24.
Okay.
We think Florida's going to do a lot better than that.
I said 56-20.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying, for anyone who thinks that Florida's got a shot. The team that beat you couldn't even get over 28 points.
Yeah. Can a Purdue fan be a mod, or am I not eligible since I like the Big Ten? Anybody can be a mod. I think I got quite a few mods right now. And for the most part, being a moderator in my channel really doesn't hold a lot of weight, because most of the people here are pretty civil. Every now and then,
all you're gonna do is get to hide and show in each foot show.
Yeah, for me, I pretty much let people kind of do what they want to do. People kind of take care of themselves, and the moderators here, they know what's tolerated and what's not. And I mean, most of the time, people here are pretty respectful of one another, so we really don't have any problems. Every now and then on a live stream, I'll get somebody after a game where Georgia's beat them that they jump in with the racial stuff, and then that gets shut down super quick. I don't even get a chance to block it. So, yeah, I think Alabama is going to be out to prove a point to Florida. I think that they're looking. I think Alabama is looking across Georgia down towards Jacksonville and saying, "I can't wait. I can't wait." Now, the last time that Georgia played Alabama in a postseason game, I could legitimately look at that game and go, I don't know who's going to win. I could look at that game and go, I don't know if Georgia's going to win that game. I don't know if Alabama's going to win that game, but I do know this. It's going to be a hell of a game. I'm looking at this Florida game going, this game is going to be an embarrassment. I already know.
Yeah. It's going to get ugly real fast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're not going to have an answer for the Slim Reaper. I'm telling you right now, that guy's incredible.
What's your over-under on Smith touchdowns on 4?
On who?
Smith.
Devontae?
Yep. Over-under on 4 touchdowns.
Over, under? Under.
Under? You think under 4?
Under 4. I think he'll do 3. I think he'll do 3. I think he'll do 3. I think Najee will do 2. I think that Mac Jones will get himself 1. And now we're at 6 right there, right?
Maybe even a pick 6.
Might even get a pick 6, but I ain't gonna bet on that. I think that Mechie is due for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And I mean, and then you throw in another random guy in there somewhere, they get a touchdown. It just, yeah. I'm telling you right now, if you struggled with LSU for any reason, you have no idea the fight you are in for, because you're not going to cover. I don't care if you put 3 guys on Devontae Smith, you're not going to cover him.
No.
I don't care if you get 3 linebackers in the box, you're not going to stop Najee Harris. So you got to explain to me how you're going to beat Alabama when you can't even stop those 2 guys. And Mac Jones can throw. I was telling people at the beginning of the season, and you go back and watch the video, Mac Jones, his numbers were just as good and sometimes better than Tua's. Everybody's like, oh, Bryce Young, Breezy Young, Young Breezy, little Young Breezy, whatever. I was like, no, it's going to be Mac Jones. I'm telling you. Yeah. What's going on, Rob F? And what has happened? Mac Jones has come out there and showed out. He has. Yeah. There is nowhere on that field. Mac Jones, who? Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now. There is a reason why Mac Jones is in the Heisman talks.
Yeah.
And it's not because he has one good receiver. He can throw to anybody. He is a game manager, but he's smart. He knows where to throw the ball. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. A well-thrown ball is indefensible. Just a well-thrown ball is indefensible. When you couple in a guy like Devontae Smith, there's no contest. It's over. Yeah. It is absolutely over. That's the same thing that happened with Trevor Lawrence. And I can't even remember the name of their dad blame receivers right now, but I can't. But those guys, you can't defend against that.
Yeah.
You look at every one of those games with elite level defense playing those guys, they were still hanging 30 and 40 points on teams like Georgia. Georgia had the best defense in the country. They were still hanging 30 and 40 points on teams like Georgia. That is because it's indefensible. Florida does not have one of the best defenses in the country. I think that Alabama has played better defenses than Florida, and they have beat the ever-living life out of them. So if Florida thinks they're going to walk out there and win this game, they're on the good. It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
No, I agree. And Keith, I saw your comment. I don't know if I'm going to go to spring game. I've never been to one. I'd love to go next year. I just don't know how it works, where to get tickets and all that stuff.
You don't have to get tickets. It's free.
Oh, well, there you go. So I've never been to one. So, yeah, I might come up for a spring game next year. I'd love to see Brock slinging around, see Carson Beck go.
Usually how a spring game goes, me and Keith went. I think we've been pretty much every year except this year whenever we couldn't go because of the Bulls stuff when they canceled the game. You show up, you can park wherever. There's no charge to park. You walk to the stadium. It's free admission. Now, you do have to, if you want concessions, you have to buy them. But, I mean, that's to be expected. At least they have concessions. The concession stand is open. And they basically play a football game. And it's red versus black. And normally it's
watch it on TV. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get it. It's the ones versus the twos and the twos versus the ones and whatnot. But you get to watch the guys throw it around. There's no contact on the quarterback, and Kirby Smart's out there in the middle of the field with his visor on. So me and Keith, when the first time me and him saw Eric Stokes playing in the spring game, like the TV does not relay the talent that guy has. I'm going to tell you right now, Eric Stokes is absolutely one of the most talented defensive players in all of college football.
Boy, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, the problem is that whenever you watch TV, the cameraman follows the ball. But when you watch it in person, you're the cameraman. You get to look wherever you want to look. And if you're watching him, like if you say, okay, I'm going to spend a play or two watching Eric Stokes, right? And you watch him, you're like, wow, that guy has some super high football IQ. We're watching him make breaks on a ball to where the ball was going to go before the quarterback even looked at the guy. Like he could look at the route and he could look and see who was covered up and who wasn't, and then he could make a break in that direction and catch interceptions. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Insane.
Well, I'll tell you what, depending on the Corona, the beauty of having my own company is, I'll be there. If the Corona's good, I'll go this year.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, we'll get you to come up here, we'll hang out at the house, and then drive over to the game, because from my house to Athens, I can tell you exactly how far it is. Directions to Athens, Georgia. It's an hour and 56 minutes. So it's 2 hours.
Well, it'll be about a 6-hour drive for me, but I'll get there.
Yeah, but that's
all right. I'll drive out for the spring game, but you're driving here for the Florida game.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, Keith is an hour and a half away.
And Keith can come too. I'll get him a ticket. Yeah,
man. Me and him's had a lot of fun together. Going to these games, man. It's a blast. We went to one game. It was raining and cold, and spring game, and I had some family members in from Iowa, and I had my little Coleman stove out. I was making hot dogs, and because I use a propane one, and we got done, and my wife's cousin, he's like, well, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm gonna sit in the van. I said, like, hell, you are. You gotta get yourself out of here and stay at my house. You ain't sitting in this truck. Sit in the stands. So, he took him in there and sit at the stands. Well, his sons had never been to a spring game before. And man, they had a blast. Like, we first went there, he's like, I'm a Hawkeye fan. I'm like, all right, that's fine, man. You can be a Hawkeye fan. And then we get into the game, he was like, man, this place is awesome, man. It's like, yeah, it kind of is. He goes, by the time we left that game, he was a Georgia fan, and he was going up and down the stands. Keeping them big cups. Them big cups they give out at the game?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he had like 20 of them. We left there. He's like, you think these will be okay if I wash them? I was like, yeah, man, they'll be perfectly fine. It's a cup, dude. He's had a great time, man.
I'll tell you what, though, if I come out there, man, I'm going to bring me some money, because every time, like last time I went up there, I brought the wife and kids, and I think I spent probably about $200 at the Red Zone. That's probably my favorite store in the world.
Oh, yeah. It's nice. Yeah, we had a great time. At that game. All right, so let me pull this up real quick, because I'm losing my mind as usual. So you think the line on the game is 17.5?
Cover. Bet that money.
Come on, man. Take Florida on the money line.
Ain't no way.
Without looking, what do you think the over-under is?
Without looking. 77?
You close.
At least. Really?
You close. Yeah, you're really close.
77.5?
No, 73.5.
Yeah, over.
You think over, huh? Let's see.
Oh, hang on. I said 48-24. So, God, I said math.
74 is what
over.
Bet Now has that. Bet Now has it at 74.
I'll take over on that one. Over and huge cover by Bama.
So if you take Florida, If you bet $100,
mm-hmm.
It's plus 525 on the money line.
Yeah, but you might as well take that $100 bill and throw it in the furnace. I don't see the point in that bet.
I'm just saying, man.
No, I get what you're saying, but you know what? I can't say that because you know what? No one in their right mind would have put $20 on LSU last week. Bless you, sir.
Man.
But no one would have put $20 on LSU last week. So I mean, who knows?
A lot of LSU fans did. But there was a lot more LSU fans that put $20 on Florida. Oh, what's up, Crimson Brave?
So we're gonna circle back to that Clemson Notre Dame game.
Yes, fine. Clemson's a favorite, but do you know by how much?
6 points.
Nope.
Higher?
Oh, yeah.
13.
10.5.
Okay. Well, they put a lot of stock in Trevor Lawrence, which I get. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the last 10 years of college. Yeah, man. I'm earlier was funny as last month I said Notre Dame's going to, go undefeated and lose to Clemson. I'm changing it, man. I think Notre Dame pulls the trigger again. I really do. I don't know why. I'm going with the Dame.
No, you should have stuck with your guns, man. I'm telling you.
If they do it again, though, Clemson's out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Clemson's out, and I'm the greatest caller of all time.
However,
yeah,
I think Clemson wins, and I think they cover.
Really?
I think Clemson by 14.
How about this? I think Notre Dame by 10.
Dang.
I'll tell you, man, I got stock in. I think Ian Book does work this week.
I think the moment gets too big for him.
You could be right.
Every time they played in a college football playoff, they looked really good until they got there. Even in years where they played quality teams, they looked really good till they got there. You put them on the big stage and they fold. And I don't know if that's because of the team or if that's because of the coach, but they do. It's like Oklahoma. Oklahoma looks great. They get to the CFP, they lose.
Yeah, but you don't think that was a big game, a big stage for them when they first played Clemson this year?
No, because they knew they'd get to play them again whether they won or lost. They're playing a backup quarterback against the backup.
Yeah, but you can't say backup when DJ threw that many yards and touchdowns, man.
Sure you
how
can.
Much more can Trevor Lawrence really do? Besides leadership. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
All right, so let's look at this logically. Let's look at this logistically. Let's look at this physically.
Right. I'll be right back, but I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. Notre Dame has a quarterback that is okay, pretty good. Nobody on this planet right now, if you told them you have a choice between Trevor Lawrence or Ian Book, who are you taking?
I don't even think you have to say the second name right now in college football. You give me anybody, I'm taking Trevor Lawrence.
Right. So, to me, if Ugalele, if that guy can hit you for 400, here, I'll prove it to you. Stetson Bennett threw for 300 yards. Right? Let's just say that happened. Let's say he threw for 300 yards. Do you think JT Daniels would only have been able to throw for 300 yards in whatever game that would be in?
I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is Clemson's losing this game.
I know what you're saying.
Dabo's going to cry a little bit more next week.
What's that?
Dabo's going to have some more tears next week.
Don't get me wrong. Nothing makes me – well, few things make me happier than watching Dabo cry. Few things do. But what I'm saying is that if you've got a player of the caliber of Trevor Lawrence and the backup The backup threw for 400. The reason he had to throw that much was because they couldn't get the run game going.
Yeah, but that doesn't change who the quarterback is. So let's take it this way. Let's say Notre Dame has the exact same play style. They stuff ETN all game, and you make that team one dimensional. But let's just go with that. You make that team one dimensional again. Yeah, you got Trevor Lawrence. You got a better shot. What I'm saying is, when a team is one dimensional, your odds do go down, and that's exactly what Notre Dame did last time they played them. They took ETN completely out of the game, and they didn't have to stack the box in the late fourth quarter going into overtime. They rather just play. And I feel like if they do that, no matter who the quarterback is, the odds do go down.
I agree. However, that has not been the previous precedent in college football has generally said that the way that you play a team the first time is not the way that you play a team the second time, because they've had an opportunity to play you. They understand the matchups better, and so they change things. You're not going – Clemson, for what they are, is a much smarter team than I would like to give them credit for. They're really good at coming up with a good offensive game plan. And I think that it's going to be nearly impossible to stop Clemson's run game after they've had an opportunity to play you.
Yeah.
Just to be fair, I think that not many teams are giving Clemson the amount of clout they deserve. Because if you change the name of this team to Alabama, and you say Notre Dame beat them by a handful of points earlier in the season, right? And then you get to the end of the season now, you're playing them in the championship. We're going to stop Najee Harris again.
Right, and that's going to be tough to do.
That's a bold statement. Let
me ask you this.
Bold statement.
What is Clemson's best win of the year?
I don't even know.
That's why no one compares them to Alabama, though.
I get that. Not disagreeing with that. But I will tell you like this. If you are the 87 Bears and you're playing in the Sun Belt Conference, you still going to lose a game every now and then.
I agree with that. But what I'm saying is Notre Dame was their ranked team. They lost it. That's why everyone puts more into when someone says something about Alabama right now than they do Clemson.
I think that Trevor Lawrence has a way better arm than the backup, because if he didn't, he wouldn't be in that position. Because I know that Dabo will yank you out of that spot if he's got a better quarterback behind you, because he did it to Kelly Bryant. And Kelly Bryant just won a national championship. He yanked him.
Yeah.
So you can't make me believe they did play Miami. You can't make me believe
that win's not holding up. North Carolina, come on, man. That win ain't holding up right now.
North Carolina's better than they get credit for. They had a couple bad games, but they're still a hell of a team.
Yeah.
So my thing is this. I think that they made the best to do with what they had. I think that their quarterback played a pretty good game. I feel like they had more passing yards than they would have had. They would have had to focus on with that quarterback, because they struggled with the run game. I don't think that they're going to have the ability to stop the run game again. I guarantee you Dabo and his offensive team are going to come up with a way to get the ball into Etienne's hands, and he's going to get out on the field. The other thing that I think is that Uiagalelei does not have the big arm strength that Trevor Lawrence does. So that changes what's available in your playbook. Notre Dame has got burned a couple of times downfield. I just think that having Trevor Lawrence in that quarterback position changes the whole dynamic of that game. I understand the quarterback threw for 400 plus yards, whatever, but I'm sorry. I just think that if Trevor Lawrence would have been there, it'd have been 600 yards. I think if Trevor Lawrence would have been in there, him being able to throw the ball like he does would have opened up the run game. I just don't think that it's fair to say, if they would have had if they would have had Trevor Lawrence in there, he would have thrown for 400 yards too. I can't buy into that yet.
I get with most of what you're saying. Like, I have nothing against Trevor Lawrence. I truly think he's one of the best quarterbacks I've seen in college football, probably since I've been born. Like, he had, you had your Tebows and everybody else, and Baker. To me, Trevor Lawrence is amazing. I pray somehow he finds his way into New Orleans or Atlanta. But my gut's telling me Notre Dame's going to pull it out. Notre Dame is playing on a mission right now for some reason. And I'm just going to keep rolling with them, man.
They're playing with a chip on their shoulder for real. All right, I'm going to change gears on you right now. So we put that to bed. Thanks, C-Dog West. Appreciate it. Do you think Trevor Lawrence goes pro after this season?
Yeah.
I agree. Do you think Mac Jones goes pro after this season?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. What about Kyle Trask?
Kyle Trask, in my eyes, with every player, you're looking at it going, all right, what would I do in his shoes? 100% I'm going pro. You're not going to have one of these years again, especially with Dan Mullen as your coach. Your team's falling apart. Georgia's on the uprising. Go now while you can.
So you think he could potentially lose a lot of draft stock if he sticks around? Okay. I agree that he should go. But he also committed to Florida, so I have to question his intelligence level. Spencer Rattler.
He's only a freshman, ain't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's staying. I think he's for sure staying.
Do you think he's staying at Oklahoma, or do you think he's going to transfer?
I think he stays, man. Lincoln Riley has a way of keeping quarterbacks and getting them well developed.
Okay. I think he's starting to kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel with Spencer Rattler now, because he's certainly Keith says if you're projected to go in the first round, you should go. I agree, because you better take your money while you can.
Yeah.
All right, now for the big one. Well, actually, we'll hold off on that one. Ian Book, NFL, buy or sell? Buy or sell?
He's not a first rounder, in my opinion.
He's not. He beat Clemson, though.
Hey, man, the whole team beat Clemson. Like I said, I think he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. I think NFL coaches and owners are looking at him going, he'd be a good backup. I don't know. Here's my problem is I don't know if he can improve his draft stock next year. So, yeah, I'd say go.
I'd say Ian Book is definitely going to the NFL. My reason for saying Ian Book goes to the NFL is exactly what you just touched on. He may not go in the first round, but he'll definitely go at least in the second, because he's smart. He's accurate. He doesn't have to have the biggest arm in the well. His stock is never going to get any better. Keith just popped up in the chat. He played through an ACC conference. He beat Clemson. He's going to play him again. It's likely going to be a pretty close game. He may even get a college football playoff appearance. But I think that his draft stock is never going to be any higher than it is right now. Do you need to go? You good?
Yeah, 1 minute. We're good.
Yeah.
My 1-year-old just won't seem to fall asleep for some reason.
Oh, yeah, man. Mine does it too. That having been said, I think Trevor goes. I think Ian Book goes. I think JT Daniels stays. I don't think he has enough. Kyle Trask, he might go. But now for the big one.
He gone.
Justin Fields.
He gone. He's gone. After this year, there's no way he's playing in the Big Ten again. I can see him going second overall pick, and he's a Jaguar. I think he's gone.
I could honestly see him going first round, dude. I could easily see him
I think he's a second overall pick if Trevor Lawrence goes first. I could see him going number 2.
I think it could go either way. I really think that it could be one of those things where Trevor Lawrence is looked at first, and somebody makes a trade to get Justin Fields because he fits their scheme better. I think Justin Fields has more talent overall than Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence has got is an amazing athlete, But I think overall, I think that Justin Fields is just better, and it is a absolute travesty for us not to get to see more of Justin Fields in college football.
I'd still say Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in college, and I still feel like Trevor Lawrence has a higher ceiling in the NFL as well. Honestly, not even just his arm, but height plays a big game. I guess I don't know, man. I think Trevor Lawrence could definitely be something special. Don't break the camera with them guns now. Calm down.
Oh no, I'm trying to keep my back from hurting.
I get you.
I just when I watch Trevor Lawrence play, he has more experience. He looks good. But when you're talking about who has the higher ceiling, I really think it's Justin Fields, man. This guy showed up at Ohio State. This guy showed up at Ohio State and has not stopped breaking records since.
I like Justin Fields, man. I know a lot of Georgia fans hate him. I like him. I wish him nothing but the best. I said before, man, Trevor Lawrence is one of the best quarterbacks I've seen in a long time.
I don't disagree. I just think that in the open field, I think that he's more agile. Keith says, well, Fields was better in the Elite 11 out of high school. I agree with that too. He did beat out. I just think Justin Fields, when you see him run the ball, he doesn't look long and lanky and awkward and kind of like a giraffe running down the field. He looks like a guy who looks like Deion Sanders is finna juke you out of your shoes. I mean, when you see that
Murray.
Yeah.
But to me, you're comparing two different style quarterbacks that both could be successful. Because to me, it's Kyler Murray and even maybe an Aaron Rodgers. Like these are the two kind of quarterbacks you're comparing.
Yeah,
both can have amazing careers. I
think personally that Justin Fields can do everything Trevor Lawrence does and more. I just think Trevor Lawrence has had the benefit of being in one program that was strong right out of the gate and had good talent around him and was able to develop into that. Ohio State, while they had an okay team, was not as good as Clemson. Yeah. Quarterback staff, coaching staff was not as good as Clemson. And this guy pretty much drugged them kicking and screaming to success. Trevor Lawrence just had to not screw it up. And I think there's a difference.
But let's not forget what's the most important part of being an NFL quarterback. It's all about where you land. Where you land.
Well, yeah, you don't want to be – see, that's the thing. You don't want to be the very first guy.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is all likelihood could be going to the Jets. That right there, just getting picked from them could end your career.
Well, for the most part, most NFL teams suck.
Yeah.
And most NFL teams will have a rash of 3 or 4 years where they're really good. And then they'll cycle back to being mediocre, and then they'll cycle back to being pretty good, and then they'll be crappy for a couple of years. And so, I mean, the Cowboys used to kill everybody. And the Patriots was killing everybody. And then for a while, Green Bay was killing everybody. And then the Bears were killing everybody. And then, and then 1 year Carolina went to the Super Bowl, was beating the hell out of everybody. So, and then the Dolphins were good for a while. I mean, it's just, I just can't get into pro. It just bores me to tears, man. All right, we're running up on the 2-hour mark. Anything else you want to throw on the list here?
That's it, man. I can't wait to watch some of these games this weekend. Watch, Notre Dame and Clemson, and then watch Florida get murdered. I can't wait for both those games.
I want to watch the Notre Dame. I want to watch Notre Dame, Clemson, Alabama, Florida, and there's a couple more I wanted to watch.
Coastal Carolina.
I do want to watch that game. And Marshall UAB.
But man, I agree with the comment section, man. You gotta stream one of these games, bud.
I do. I really need to do that. I got the monitor that I use in front of me when I stream is a 40-inch monitor. I bought it off the marketplace for cheap. I've got another TV here that I can probably mount on this wall because I got a wall right here that I could probably stream the game and go from there. But we'll see what happens. But
if you do it, man, do the Notre Dame Clemson game 4:30.
That depends, sir. I may have a very big, small surprise for everyone tomorrow. So we'll see. All right, guys. Yeah. So anything else? Comment section, you better throw it in here quick. Let me see who's all still here. Keith Carr, of course, one of the best around. Sammy Ladd, Sean Stapleton, Alex MLD, Counter Baron, ECC, Tim Ferris. Appreciate you guys being here. Crimson Brave, of course, he's always here. I really appreciate you guys joining the stream. If you made it this far, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share, thumbs up, all that good stuff. You guys have a great weekend. I might make a breakdown video of the Alabama-Florida game. I might not. It just depends. Because I got a lot going on. Sorry, but that's life. Yeah. So you guys have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.